participants that weren't unable to make it during the actual back to school night. So just a reminder, this meeting will be recorded. So I am the 6th grade team leader, and I want to start off by saying, when I say 6th grade, you guys are going to shout rocks. 6th grade.
Rocks.
Oh, that was weak. That was weak.
We were muted.
We have some lag also. Don't forget.
All right. 6th grade.
Rocks.
All right. That was a little better. So just a little bit about me. I am the 6th grade team leader. This is my email address. If you wanted to jot it down, save it in your phone, take a picture of it, whatever you would like to do. This is probably the quickest way that you can get a hold of me. I do like to have fun. And yes, this is my yearbook photo from last year. I try to do something fun every year. So we'll have to come up with something good for this year virtually. The way that this is going to work is we are going to go through our different teachers and our administrators. And at the end, there is a time for some parent support and connections. But you can also utilize the chat in this room. If you go up to the top, there's a little button. It looks like a notepad. You can click on that and you can type something in the chat. I will be answering the chat, or one of the teachers will answer the chat if I'm busy. And then if at the end, if you still don't have your question, then we can unmute our mics and then ask the question. But during the meeting, I just ask that everyone stay muted, just like we ask the students to stay muted, because when some people are unmuted, sometimes we'll get like a weird feedback and it'll be glitchy and hard to understand. So just utilize the chat, and I want to turn it over to our assistant principal, Ms. Kathleen Owens.
Good evening, everyone. My name, once again, is Mrs. Owens, and I am the 6th grade assistant principal at Sparrows Point Middle School. And if you're looking at the picture, I'm the third from the end, third on the right, I should say. And I wanted to let everyone know that before we even start tonight, I can't tell you as an administrative team how appreciative we've been of all the support that you have given us and your child during these unprecedented times. I know that virtual learning has posed challenges for everyone, especially with devices. And slowly but surely, we're weeding out those problems. But I just really want you to know how much we really, truly appreciate your patience and support, because it makes this experience so much easier for everyone. So we talk about our students all the time and we love them, but I also want to give a special thanks to all our moms and dads out there, because I know how instrumental they've been in making all this run as smoothly as possible. While we're in the virtual learning environment, I have office hours from 9 to 9:30 and from 12 to 12:30 on Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. And on Wednesdays, I have office hours from 10 to 10:30 and 12 to 12:30. So if you need to get in touch with me for any reason, please don't hesitate to go into Google Meets and just go in as K. Owens Office Hours, and I will be there to help you with anything that you may need. As I said before, I'm here to support our wonderful 6th graders, and I have the opportunity to meet a lot of them, and they are absolutely adorable. But I also want you to know that I'm here to support the parents as well. Also, my email address is kowens@pcps.org. So if you need anything, please email me. I always try to religiously answer all my emails within 24 hours. But I just wanted to welcome all of you to Sparrows Point. I know this has been a difficult environment, but you all have just risen to the occasion. And we are so happy to have you here. And please know that we're here to support you and to love your children just as much as you love them, and to make sure they have a very successful year. So at this point, I'm going to turn it back over to Ms. McQuaid, and she's going to go over the schedule for this evening a little bit with all of you. So thank you.
Thanks, Ms. Owens. So the schedule for tonight is going to go like this. So first up, we'll have the special area teachers present. And then from there, we'll have science talk a little bit about their curriculum, introduce ourselves. Then we'll have math that follows, and then social studies, world language, ELA, and at the end, we'll have those parent support lessons. So again, if you have any questions, feel free to type them in the chat, and we will answer them as we go through, but please keep those mics muted. All right, so first up, we'll have special areas.
Hello, good evening. My name is Miss Ryan, and I am one of the physical education teachers here at Sparrows Point. I am the physical education department chair, and I am also the athletic advisor. This is my 23rd year at Sparrows Point Middle School. My email is on the slide. Mr. Sefcik, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi, I'm Mr. Sefcik. I'm the other physical education teacher, so your kid either has Mr. Ryan or myself. This is I don't know, I lost track. I'm not as good as Mr. Ryan is keeping track of how many years I've been at places. I think it's like my 11th year, maybe 18th.
I don't know.
I'm only 21 years older, McQuaid. That would be 18 years.
Sorry,
But,
I didn't take math.
Yeah, it's a pleasure meeting you. It's a pleasure meeting all the new sixth graders. We're all going through this crazy online virtual learning together. My piece, I just wanted to say that we're always here. We're always here through like a email or a message through Schoology. As long as your kid is receptive to responding, I'm going to message every kid who missed an assignment. They need to respond back, though. It's pretty tough to get a hold of people if they're not receptive to sending back a message. So I'm always around to help out. So if your kid's missing something for phys ed, that means they're probably not responding to the message that I'm sending to them. That's right. You can go ahead and go through the curriculum and stuff.
All right. So just like if we were in school, we still expect our students to come to class on time and dress for physical activity. Now more than ever, we need to move. I don't know how any of you parents have desk jobs, because this is driving me crazy sitting at a desk all day. But so far, the past two classes with our students, we have been getting up and we have been moving. And most of the activities that we're doing, we can do in a 4x4 square. We're just trying to get their heart rates up. The lesson this week that we focused on was about the importance of exercise and the importance of movement. And, you know, if you look at our daily schedule, there are movement breaks that are scheduled in there. So that is expectation number one. Expectation number two.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay. Expectation number two is for everyone to just try your best. And like Mr. Sefcik just said, do not be afraid to ask for help. That's one of the things that Wednesdays are for, is that small group. So that goes for every subject area. As Ms. McQuaid alluded to earlier, we really do strongly encourage your students to turn their cameras on. As teachers, one of the reasons that we became teachers is we have a love for children and we have a love for people. And I cannot tell you enough how much easier it is to teach when I see your child's face, and especially the sixth graders. I don't know your children. And so seeing them on camera, I'm starting to learn who they are. And so I know that they're embarrassed and they don't want, but I can't say enough, really, just encourage them to turn the cameras on.
Yeah,
And
so
then
if you
finally,
ever walk by the monitor or the screen and I'm doing jumping jacks and running in front of the screen, your kid's sitting in their chair watching me laughing, could you please ask them to stand up and join me? Because all I see is the little circle dots, and I'm like, I know you're just sitting there laughing at me, so could you please join me? So I can use some help from home as well.
And then every week, your students will have a show what you know, something to submit. Okay. Next slide, Ms. McQuaid. Baltimore County went ahead and revamped what is called our scope and sequence, or our units. This is really tiny to see right now. But just to give you an idea, we are going to be doing a bunch of different activities, and sometimes we will be asking you to be active in class, and sometimes you will be active during that on your own time. And some of the units that we are going to be doing are going to be fitness walking, jump roping, line dancing, cardio drumming, target games. Next slide, Ms. McQuaid, please. Net wall, running, scoring, muscular strength activities, invasion games, juggling, and fitness testing. And most of these, you know, some of you may not have equipment, and that's where, guess what, Ms. McQuaid and my science and math teachers, you're going to be working with STEM in phys ed, because we need to be creative with what can we use when we're doing a target game and we need to propel an object to a target. And so we might not use a stapler there, Ms. McQuaid, but there are going to be ways where we're going to be creative. All right, next slide. And Miss Antonelli, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. Hi, everyone. My name is Nikki Antonelli. I teach along with Miss Ryan and Mr. Sevchek. We teach 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. So we teach all the grades. A little special for me is I actually teach every single kid in the school. So if I don't have them first semester, I'll have them second semester, and then I'll have them in 7th grade and 8th grade. So I get to know a lot about them, and they get to know a lot about me. My email is listed. Now, that was my maiden name. So if you're like, that's not her name, it really is. I just am that person that can't give up my maiden name because I feel like it's the only thing I have left is my email. Miss McQuaid, go ahead. So we have 4 units in 6th grade. The first one we started is mental and emotional health, which is big right now due to COVID and doing virtual learning. The second unit is growth and development. Now there is an opt-out form provided in Schoology, and you will only fill this out if you do not want your child to participate in this unit. This is the big unit basically on puberty. We talk a little bit about the reproduction system. Girls do learn the guy stuff, and the girls learn the boys, and the boys learn the girls, so they are taught everything all together. But I will send out, when we get closer, a reminder that if you're interested in this opt-out form, it is on Schoology, or I can email it to you. And that opt-out form also gives more in-depth about the objectives that we'll learn if you're interested. The third unit, substance abuse prevention, we talk about a lot about e-cigarettes. And then the last unit, safety and injury prevention, we talk a lot about different types of abuse. And just really, if you need me, please feel free to message me or email me. We can set up any time that's convenient for you to meet. And otherwise, that's pretty much it. Please let me know if your students have a redo assignment. I'm more than willing to give them as many redos as they want. They just have to let me know. So if you have any questions, please feel free to email me or send me a message.
This is Miss Ryan again. Just wanted to touch base that on Wednesdays, this goes for health and physical education. Your child is expected to go into Schoology and check their grade book. They also, I highly recommend, if you look here at the middle of the screen where it has the little envelope, your teachers message your students every day. And so your students should be checking those messages. And we usually will reach out to your child and let them know we would like to meet with them, or that's a way that they can communicate with us. On Wednesdays for health and phys ed, they should be completing any work from a previous class, contacting us for assistance, or attending small group instruction when invited or requested. This is Miss Ryan again. I am also the athletic advisor. So we do have an athletic program here at Sparrows Point Middle. We have badminton, cross country, basketball, tennis, track and field, and allied softball. This evening at 7:35, I am going to have another Google Meet that will focus just on athletics. And so here is the code that I invite you to come and join me if you have any questions in regards to athletics at Sparrows Point Middle School. And now Mr. Sevchek, Miss Antonelli, and I are going to be jumping off of here and going into the 7th grade. So if you have questions, you can certainly put them in the chat, and one of the teachers will take note of them, and we will respond back to you as soon as possible. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. So next up, we have Mr. Powis.
Hi, everybody. My name is Mr. Powis, and I'm the Fine Arts Department Chair. I teach band, strings, and world music, and my email address is right there, mpowis@bcps.org. You can go ahead and click the next slide. So just briefly, what you need for band and orchestra is you're going to need an instrument. If you need to borrow an instrument from school, they're on a first come, first served basis. I will actually be at the school on Thursday, tomorrow, from 5 to 7 to give out instruments. Once I run out, I run out. I try to get more if I can. If you'd like to purchase an instrument for your child or do a rent to own, please use me as a resource. I'd like to make sure that you guys get the right stuff. You'll need to do a form, a loan agreement form in order to borrow an instrument, and I'll have those ready as well tomorrow between 5 and 7. I do have additional materials like a book or accessory and cleaning supplies. And I just put a link in chat that'll go to a materials list. It's also in your child's Schoology group or in class under materials and additional materials needed. It's a black folder and right in their class. If you have any questions about those things, please message me, and I'll make sure you get the right size and things like that. Go ahead, next slide, please. Couple of things that we're going to cover is tuning our instruments. I know for like the strings, they're going to freak out if they break a string. If they break a string, it's no big deal. We can just order another one, and I'm going to teach them how to put it back on. If they've ever changed a guitar string, it's like the same thing. We're going to how to practice and improve music for presentation. We're going to do some note reading fluency. We're going to interpret composers' messages and music. And there's going to be like short compositions and music that they're going to write. You can go to the next slide.
All right, next up we have Mr. Swain.
All right. Hopefully you can hear me okay. I'm in my car. I'm at my my daughter has dance tonight, so they overlap. So hopefully this goes smoothly. I imagine it will. My name is Mr. Swain. I do chorus and I do 6th, 7th, and 8th grade general music as well. I'm trying to read the bottom. I do not have my glasses. But as far as chorus, what we're going to do this year is go over all the things for good singing technique. Tomorrow we're going to do some stuff with posture. We're going to do a lot of fundamentals like reading music, and even getting into how to read the actual sheet music. If there's one good thing to come out of us virtual learning, I think it's that we could take the time to work on some of the skills that we normally wouldn't have, getting ready for all these concerts and performances and stuff like that. In general music, we're going to be mixing it up a little bit. Usually in 6th grade world music, we would do Australia and India and China and Japan. In Latin America this year, we're going to mix in some American styles, such as we're going to do some jazz. We're going to do the roots of American music, as well as the other countries that we would normally do. But there's no special supplies. All they really need is the device for chorus. Any musical examples that they'll need to sing, I will provide for them. I'm going to put recordings right on Schoology that they can listen to. And we've already used Flipgrid. And hopefully the kids are checking their messages, because I listened to the 6th grade chorus, some of the recordings today, and I was blown away. Some of the best singers I've had in a while. A couple of the kids were singing stuff from musicals. I made sure to reach out to them and really encourage it, but I think it's good stuff. And I have been sending messages after every class just to catch up with the kids that maybe missed turning their work in that day. So if they're missing stuff, then they should check their message. Kind of like what Sefcek said. I know today when we had time to meet with the kids, I was answering questions, and everybody that reached out to me from the message I sent is all caught up now, because we took the time to go through and I attached anything they were missing and we went through that. So if they're missing anything, have them, check their message, get back in touch with me. It's real easy. All right. I think that's my whole slide. I don't have 2 slides.
Sounds good, Mr. Swain.
Thank you.
All right, next up we have Miss Nestor. She is one of our art teachers.
Hi, everyone. My name is Mrs. Nestor. I am an art teacher. So for the expectation for art, students are expected to submit their pictures and their artwork and assignments on Schoology. In terms of materials, a sketchbook, pencil, color pencils, markers, anything that available at your house. Every student should log into Schoology and check their grades for feedback and missing assignments. On Wednesday for 6th grade, My small group is 12:30 to 1 p.m. So for the first quarter units, I'm gonna teach units 1, 2, and 3. So we will be learning about personal identity, psychological identity, social identity, elements of art, principle of designs. We're gonna create a lot of fun project of art.
All right. Thank you so much, Miss Nestor.
Thank you.
Next up, we have our Mr. Dees. He's also another art teacher.
Hello, everybody. As I see from the time, it looks like some of my friends in the special area department we were told to make one slide. So what you're looking at right here is called efficiency of design right here. That's one of the things that I'll be teaching your kids. I properly applied that to I'm also going to be using an efficiency of time in my presentation. If you have any questions,
Thank
please.
you.
Miss McQuaid is almost as good of an artist as I am. So if you have any art questions, please just direct them straight at her while I'm gone.
Yeah.
As Ms. Nestor said, if your kid's not lucky enough to have her, they're going to have me. And we're going to be working to learn about the elements of art. But while we do that, we're also going to be fulfilling everything that we have in the state art standards, which is basically make art, look at art and understand it, be able to talk and write about it, and be able to present your art without, without curling up into a ball and refusing to accept any sort of criticism of your artwork. We're going to work on choice-based projects. So anything that you have, anything you want to get, anytime you're at the dollar store, you want to grab a pack of colored pencils or markers, that's helping your kid out. And we all upload them. And nobody hates on the kid who's got notebook paper and a black ballpoint pen, but everybody, it doesn't look as cool as the kid who has 20 art supplies to use. We don't make fun of them. We still give them a grade, an A+ if they earn it. But they would like that. I know they would like that, whether they're thinking to mention that to you or not. When it comes to art class time, they would like that. And as it says in the bottom right corner, and it'll be on the slide when this is up all the time after I'm done talking, you can contact me, and my time is the same as everybody else's, 12:30 to 1 on Wednesdays, to have a meeting with. If you don't contact me, eventually I'm going to contact you. But if your kid really loves art or is really struggling with art, tell them to send me a message so that I can get him in there on Wednesday. And that's it. I'm done.
Sounds good. Thanks, Mr. Dees.
Yep.
All right, Mr. Potts is going to be our last special area slide. Mr. Potts?
Alrighty, thanks, Miss McQuaid. Hey, everybody. So I'm going to make this pretty quick because I got to hustle up to the 7th grade meeting. I teach all of the grades, 6th grade, 7th grade, and 8th grade. We're going to get into design and journaling, measurement. I left it pretty broad in the sense that I said science, technology, and engineering, because we're going to hit on science. We're going to hit on some math concepts and kind of integrate them into what we build. But really, my true goal as a tech ed teacher is to get the kids building and designing as much as possible. Obviously, that's going to look a little different that we're at home. They're not going to have the same kind of tools available. But really, the biggest two things that I want to put across is that the kids need to be able to take photos and submit photos of what they build. And I know that's going to look different for everybody. And I know it's kind of funny and it's a little ironic that I'm telling the kids to actually get the phone and use it, whereas I used to tell the kids to put the phone away. So, that's the easiest way, is to take a photo with the phone of what they're creating and then to upload that to the assignments. The other big thing is to have materials ready. And so typically for me, I realize that not everybody's going to have everything the day of that lesson. And typically I'll put the week before, I'll put up a little update that says, here are the things that you'll need this week. And then I also just recently updated a list of all of different kinds of crafty materials. I mean, we're talking like popsicle sticks, and straws, those kind of things, glue, tape. I think, in general, you probably could get most of this stuff at the dollar store for maybe under $20. But usually the kids have about a week to hand it in. And obviously, if there's ever an issue, they don't have what they need, then you or they can contact me and let me know, and we can push it back a little bit until they get what they need. I'm always available on Wednesdays. I'll either contact them, and it's okay for you guys and them to contact me as well, and we can meet up if they ever have any issues. But those are really the big two things, is really taking those photos and uploading, and then just having some materials to create with. But yeah, if you guys want to have any other questions, feel free to get to me, jpots@bcps.org.
Thanks, Mr. Potts. So it's a little bit now about the science department. I am the 6th grade science teacher, and I teach 6th grade standard classes, and I also teach 6th grade gifted and talented classes. There's always a chance for students to move from one to the other. So don't think that just because they're enrolled in one class that they're not in the gifted and talented, or vice versa. Here's a little bit about me. It's my 18th year teaching in Baltimore County, and my 5th year at Sparrows Point, and I don't intend to leave at all. And here's a picture of my 2 animals that I love and have. One of them is allowed to come into school, so when we're back in school, he'll be our classroom pet. His name is Beaker, and this is my dog. He is our Sparrows Point mascot, and his name is Newton. And yes, this is another yearbook photo of me as well. And yes, I'm a science nerd. And then this is Miss Mealy. She's my counterpart.
Hello, everyone. So I teach 6th and 7th grade science. So I also teach the remainder of the 6th grade with Miss McQuaid. This is my 10th year teaching in Baltimore County and my 2nd year at Sparrows Point, and I love it so much. On the slides is just a little bit about me for my bachelor's and master's degree, and a little personal life info. And on the bottom, you can see 2 of my dogs who I love dearly, and I always bring them up in class. You also can see my email address. If you have any questions, feel free to send me an email.
And then we also have Miss Annie Smith, able to join us this year.
Yay! I'm with the science girls. I love it. So my name is Mrs. Annie Smith, and I am the special education department chair, and I also teach science 6th grade, 7th grade, and 8th grade. And I have the joy to co-teach with Mrs. Mealy and my own class. Like Mrs. McQuaid said, I hope to never leave Sparrows Point Middle School. This is my 3rd year teaching at Sparrows Point, but my 13th year teaching for Baltimore County Public Schools. And I think we have the best school ever. I think, Mrs. McQuaid, you can shake your pom-pom. So, and I have 2 daughters. Like you as parents, we all have, most of us have children. My 2 daughters are also in virtual instruction, and they're at Towson High School. So it's busy, busy, busy. Nice to meet everybody.
And also with Miss Smith this year, we also have a student intern. Her name is Megan Fountain. And so she'll also be working in our science department this year as well. Megan, you want to say hello?
Hi, everybody.
Thank you, Mrs. McQuaid.
You're welcome.
And she loves science too.
She does. So these are our science units this year. We're already starting the ecosystems unit, so your kids will be asked to go outside sometimes during class, and it's not for the entire class unless we say it is, but it's usually just to run outside, grab something real quick, and come back in, share with the camera. Once we get back into the building, we are doing some lab experiments, and we'll have some safety science contracts that need to be signed before that. So some expectations that we have when they come to class, it needs to have a charged computer. That needs to be every single day, every single minute of the day. And it's really helpful and beneficial if your child has a quiet workspace. They get distracted just like they are when they're in the classroom. So when you're working in the same room or siblings are working in the same room and there's lots of motion, we just have them just have a quiet as possible workspace. And they also should have all picked up materials from school. And in their materials is their first unit packet, which came inside of a folder. So if your child has not gotten this, it might be a good idea for you to go to school and pick that up. Our grade book is very similar to other area grade books. We're going to have 70% of the grades to be minor assignments, whereas 30% are major assignments. The science department does allow redos, meaning if your child did not do so well on one of the assignments. They do have a chance to redo it. We are very lenient with the sixth graders, especially at first. We will later on in the school year, though, release a little bit of that hand-holding and put more responsibility on the students to make sure that they are redoing them in a timely manner. Ms. Mealy, you want to talk about Wednesdays?
Sure. So Wednesdays, this is a day for independent work. It's not a day off for our students. So students are expected to look in their Wednesday work extension folder on Schoology. And typically, this would be like a preview of our lesson coming up in science or a refresher from the day or so before. We also have small group instruction that we will be holding. So your students, your child will get a message from us in their Schoology, so you can see when we're meeting with them and what time. So it's really important that your child does check their messages. I know I've had some kiddos this week that have like 50 unread messages in their folder, so please try to make sure that they are checking their messages from their teacher and responding back to us and meeting with us when we are asking for them for small group. But I am going to say goodbye. It was so good meeting you. I have to jump over to 7th grade, but feel free to shoot me an email or write anything in the chat, and Ms. McQuaid will let me know.
All right.
Goodbye. Nice meeting you.
Bye. It is also very important for all of the sixth graders to have their OneDrive up to date. So after we get off of this meeting, you might want to have them show you where their OneDrive is. I tried to hold a small group today and only 4 kids came. So kudos to those 4 kids that did come out of 30 something that were invited. But it is important to make sure that you have up that OneDrive. And I'm going to pass it over to the math department.
Hello, welcome everybody. I'm so glad you could join us tonight. I'm Ms. Saritas. I am the 6th grade math teacher and the Sparrows Point Middle School department chair for math. So my email is listed there below. I have been at Sparrows Point for a while. I've been in 6th grade my whole entire career. I absolutely love 6th graders. They are so encouraging and motivating, and they always have a smile on their face. And best grade to be in. 6th grade rocks, Miss McQuaid.
Hi, I'm Mr. Brophy. This is my first year at Sparrows Point and my first year teaching. I work with the standard and the comeback kids, so I have some of the students 3 times during the week. In math, we get the chance to double up. And I worked at Battle Grove last year for my student teaching through Towson University, so I know some of the students, some of you guys from last year, and I'm excited to work with them again this year.
And hi, I am Ms. Mulitz. I teach GT Math 6. I'm also an Algebra 1 8th grade teacher. This is my 2nd year at the Point. I think I'm at year like 19 teaching, and I love teaching math.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Mulitz. All right, Ms. McQuaid, let's look at some math here. Mr. Kirby, is he here? Or do I? Oh, yes.
I get my own slide. I'm just that awesome. Hi, I'm Mr. Kirby. So this is my 9th year teaching, my 3rd year at Sparrows Point Middle School. So none of you guys are actually assigned. Well, actually, that's a lie. So some of you are assigned to my class, but we do work, Mr. Brophy and I, because my class was such a small group, we decided to combine those 2 classes. So we have that first, and like Mr. Brophy said, we also get to meet sometimes on that 3rd period on P days. But this is my 9th year teaching, my 3rd year here at Sparrows Point Middle School. Just a little bit about me. So I'm married. I've got 2 cats. They love to make an appearance. A lot of times I have to lock them out of here because they just love to lay all over my keyboard. So if you ever see a bunch of letters or random things happening in the chat, that's usually why. I enjoy a wide variety of hobbies. I do run our chess club. I do a lot of physical activity, sports, things like that. And I also love to coach swimming, which if any of you guys know, Mr. Brophy and I have that in common from Towson University.
Thank you, Mr. Kirby. All right, regardless of what teacher you have, you will need these items with you. An interactive notebook. We have, the math department worked really hard over the summer to make sure that they had at least the first unit. Some courses have even 2 and 3 units already sent home. They put them together for everyone. So if you did not get to pick them up from school, They are waiting for you at school. Our secretaries have them for you. Feel free to call the school and they will definitely give them to you. So the notebooks are really a great tool for them to take good notes throughout the class period. Some you will need glue sticks, all those pictures that you'll need, but the most important one is that smiley face in the bottom, a nice positive attitude, and we can all do this together. All right, this is what our Schoology school organization looks like. You'll notice a yellow Wednesday work folder. So any of our kids, when they have their Wednesday work, it's going to be housed right there so that they don't have to go looking for it. We have shown them this, so your children could probably even show you this. That way there's no surprises as to where to go. There's instructions that we write out for them, and any links that they might need will be all right there. The policies and procedures folder will have their course syllabus, and most of this information that I'm going to share with you tonight is all housed in that policies and procedures folder in green. Our units, our math units, are going to be listed in red. You'll see them right there, and I've kind of put some of them down a little bit so you can see how the organization works. There will be the unit. There is going to be a copy of the interactive notebook. So if you did not get a chance to pick this up at school, there's an electronic copy there for you. Feel free to print it out, or even if your kids lost it, it's right there for you. And then all of our lessons look just like the way I have lesson 2 written there. There will be an outcomes. There will be a lesson that we do every day together. You'll see that it says with me. That's what we did in class with me. And then I will post the lesson, a PowerPoint or some sort of other extra material that you can do with them at home if you feel that they need additional assistance. And then they are to do a show what you know, which is their graded assignment that they are supposed to turn in before they leave class. So if you start checking the grade book and you see missing show what you know, it means they came to class, but they did not submit their show what you know. So definitely encourage your students before they say goodbye to the teacher to make sure that they turn in their show what you knows, okay? And any homework that's listed there will clearly be spelled out. It will say homework, so that way there's no confusion. I think I got everything on that slide. Thank you.
All right.
These are our units. We have 7 units for 6th grade math to prepare our kids for pre-algebra in 7th grade. And we are currently working through Unit 1. By the end of virtual, if it lasts all the way through January, it should bring us right about to the start of Unit 4. So in your kids' folders, you have up Units 1, 2, and 3 that the math department has provided for them so far. Our grading is just like the others. We have 70% for minors and 30% for majors. That's our unit assessments and any quizzes that we may have there. If you see an LS in the grade book, that means that's the lowest score they could possibly get. It's a 50%. So if they scored something like a 20%, then we bump their grade up to a 50%. So just if you're wondering what that LS looks like, that is what that means. Right below, sorry. Right below is if they would like to access their Math 6 textbook online. Anything that we do online is also available. I mean, anything that we do virtually in class is also available online. So you would just go into Schoology and click that button instead of the you go into BCPS 1 and you click the instructional tools button instead of Schoology, and then you will see their math textbook right there. Thank you, Ms. McQuaid. Sorry.
You're fine. You're welcome.
And I am trying to talk fast so that way we can get to everybody. So the departmental redo policy, we too, like the science department, allow for redos. We do have some stipulations though. Not everything can be redone. You can redo show what you knows, and it must be within a 2-week window. So at the end of the quarter, you can't say, can I redo that assignment from September 8th? Okay, so there is some sort of timeline that they do have to redo things in. We simply ask that your students fill out a redo form. It's on all of our pages if they need to, or they can even just message us and say, hey, Ms. Saritas, may I please redo this assignment? We generally will require them to come to office hours first, so that way we can make sure they truly understand the work before they redo it. Otherwise, they're likely to make the same mistakes. So our goal is mainly to make sure they understand math. So we don't really care how many times they need to redo it, as long as they understand the math. the things that they cannot redo will be tests and quizzes. So when we are announcing for a test or for a quiz, that is something that they definitely want to study for. Missing work, if you see it in the grade book as an M for missing, it means it's being calculated as a 0. So you do want to make sure you tell your child, like, get those missing assignments in, especially on Wednesdays.
Yes.
I think that might be it. Oh, is Mr. Melissa? Yes, Mr. Melissa.
Mr. Melissa is still here, yes.
Great. So Mr. Melissa is going to talk about the advanced academics math right now. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Mr. Ritas. So the advanced academics math is set up similar to the standard math, but we have a couple tweaks. First thing is your child will be not taking pre-algebra next year, but they're going to be enrolled in Algebra 1 as a 7th grader. So they're going to be actually taking a high school course in 7th grade and can earn a high school credit with the successful completion of Algebra 1. And it's my job to prepare them for that high school course to give them that foundation that they need to be successful. We're going to do a lot of work with the transition math textbook, and you guys should have gotten an email about how to access that. I've also been saving like the PDFs in Schoology, so if a child still does not have access to it, they're still able to complete the work. And there's a little snippet of our course, and in that first folder, the orange one where it says 9/11 Introduction to GT6, there's a GT book video in there, and it's a video from the county that kind of goes over the course and what their the thinking behind it. Students are to pre-read the night before a lesson and take some notes, and I am not expecting them to teach themselves or to have mastered it. It's just to get an idea of what we're going to be learning about and to get a head start on maybe some of that vocabulary and writing that down. My students they have a spiral notebook that we have already set up. We're keeping a table of contents in the front, and each day we're adding some more notes that they can use as references when they're completing their work. And it will also serve as a really good reference next year when they're taking Algebra 1. So there was something, though, in the homework folder, the math folder that you got from the brown bag. There was an assignment for all my parents. I asked for 1,000,000 words or less about your child. I've gotten some awesome ones, including pictures in my email. So if you haven't done that, please send that to me. I love learning about the students that are sitting in front of me. And I'm looking forward to working with everyone this year. If you have any questions, please reach out.
Thank you, Ms. Demolis.
Thanks.
All right, we're moving on now to social studies, and just a quick time check. So social studies, and then we have ELA and world language still. So let's try to speed it up a bit.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Mr. Faraday. I'll get more about myself out there pretty soon, but I always like to start with this overview of content, because in elementary school, I know that your child got a variety of social studies instruction depending on what elementary school you were at. So our goal in middle school is really to start or continue the journey of really becoming a historian and being able to take a look at sources and content and really look at them with a critical eye. We get deluged with so much information in this age that one of the key things moving forward, I think, not only for our children, but for ourselves, is being able to look at information critically and being able to come to a conclusion about it and being able to support what you believe with factual statements. So over the course of this year, at the beginning of the year, we touched base with a little basics with our 6th graders, a little geography, a little latitude and longitude, a little primary sources and secondary sources. And the first unit, which is the first quarter, is going to be looking at earliest human societies. So prehistoric man forward. Then second quarter, we get into our foundational civilizations like Egypt and Mesopotamia. If we're back in school by that time, we'll have some fun activities we do especially with Egypt, with some tombs and such. Third quarter, we get into some emergent powers in India and Greece and take a look on that side of the world. And then fourth quarter, we sort of start to take a look at China and Rome, which Rome then ends the year, and as we transition into 7th grade, which really the second part of world history, and your student will get the third part of world history in 10th grade, unless something changes by the time they get to high school. Go ahead, Ms. McQuaid. So just to sort of recap, our redo policy is very similar to everybody else. We know that it's in transition going from elementary school to middle school. And we know that, kids need a little bit more time to get used to that. So we have patience with that. Just try to get in your work as soon as you can. Work can be redone up to 3 days prior to interim time. And then we sort of try to cap it off there, because then the second half of the quarter, there'll be certainly more work to take care of. Major and minor grades is much the same. Minor discussions, assignments, shows what you knows, etc. So my name is Mr. Faraday there on the right with my fun little Star Wars shirt. This is the third year I've been at Sparrows Point Middle School as department chair, but I've been at least 13 years in the county, including high school, which I think is a benefit, because as your child moves forth in middle school, I sort of know what they're walking into in ninth grade. I taught ninth grade government. I know exactly what skills that they need to be able to walk into that class, be successful, and walk out with one of their high school requirements done. I'm a huge Raven and Orioles fan. I used to be a big video gamer. That has sort of went off the works, and I'm now a big board gamer. Really miss going to my board game conventions because, well, COVID. Mr. Falk. You're muted, Mr. Falk.
I was being polite. Okay, I'm Mr. Falk. I am a 6th grade social studies teacher. I co-teach 2 classes with Miss Knight, and I am also one of the special educators in the school. This is my 13th year teaching. I spent the first 9 working in non-public special education with kids with special needs. This is my 4th year at Sparrows Point Middle School. I have a background in art and graphic design, and then become a special educator or social studies teacher to later on in life. I believe that you only fail when you stop trying, so I always kind of encourage kids to keep moving forward. I'm a lifelong Marylander who now makes my home in Baltimore City with my wife and 2 dogs, and my interests include cooking, bicycling, and indoor rock climbing. I tend to like to think of myself as a very positive person and try to push that forward to the kids.
Woohoo! All right, moving on with Miss Knight.
Hi guys, I'm Miss Knight. I've been working in education for 34 years. And this is my 4th year here at Sparrows Point Middle. Before this, I did small group instruction in a non-public capacity through to a Title I program through Baltimore City Public Schools. And I believe that the future belongs to those that believe in the beauty of their dreams. So I want kids to keep on dreaming and keep on reaching for their goals. I'm originally from St. Louis, Missouri, and I've lived here for about 32 years. I'm married, and I love to read. I love to spend time with my husband and my dog, my 2 cats. I love to dance. A weird little quirk that I have is that I teach and dance Scottish Highland dancing. So that's kind of odd, and I figured I'd throw it in there.
Thank you, Miss Knight. And this is our crazy Miss Wade, not to be confused with Miss McQuaid.
I know, right? The kids do it all the time. Hi, I'm Miss Wade, and this is my 7th year in the county. It is my 5th year here at Sparrows Point. And this year, I'm actually teaching 6th and 8th grade. Last year, I taught 6th and 7th grade. And it was so funny because when the kids left me in 6th grade last year and they got me in 7th grade, they thought they had failed. They were like, oh my gosh, did I really fail? And I was like, no, I freaked you out. I went to 7th with you. So I can only imagine how crazy they felt when they got to 8th grade and saw me again. Yes, I am the crazy Miss Wade. As you can see, I'm part Native American, and I'm very proud of my heritage. I am a Ravens fan. I am the teacher that will, I promise you, almost every yearbook photo you'll ever see of me will probably never be a normal one, because that was last year's yearbook photo. I'm originally from the DC area. I've been in Baltimore since right before high school. I love to bake. Some of my TikToks that I did last year, I was teaching how to bake chocolate chip cookies. Christmas is one of my favorite holidays, and the kids will know it because I'm always saying that's what you want for Christmas, an A. You want an A for Christmas, things like that. I'm very flexible, and I teach the GT world history. And one thing about GT World History your kids may not like is I really do require a higher standard of work. I make them write. I expect them to do their best. And I do allow redo policies. However, sometimes the kids don't want to hear that their work has to be redone. And unfortunately, because we are so busy with transposing so much of our work, I used to be able to grade things a lot faster. However, it may take me a few more days now to grade. So please be patient with me. I am on it. I am working on it. I also recommend, because most GT kids don't really need that extension help, but I do recommend that if they're having problems saving documents, if they're having tech issues, if they're having any other issue, even if it's not a world history issue, please see me. I will help your kid with anything that I can. I'm really big on self-advocating, and I'm really big on just the effort. So my email's on my homepage. Office hours are on the homepage. I'm available more often than I would wish I wasn't. I think I'm attached to this computer because it's in my house. They laugh at me all the time. But I'm so glad to see your kids this year, and I hope they have a wonderful year with us.
Thank you so much. And now we're moving on to our world language department.
Hola. Hello, everybody. I'm here with Miss Intron. Miss Intron is going to talk right after me, and we are here for our sixth graders. We love them. We were discussing how cute they all are, and especially when they run into all these new features and tools and problems, we try to troubleshoot. So we're getting there. Everything is going to be fine. That in combination with a new language, you know, they might feel a little bit overwhelmed, but let's just relax. Everything is going to come in time. We're here to help. So don't hesitate to reach out to us. Most of the times we may not be in front of the computer after 3:30, but still I'm checking emails during the day. So I may see it later in the evening or night, and I'm going to reach out to you. A few things about our department. It's 4 of us. It's me, Miss Lorenzo, Miss Intron. We teach 6th grade together, Miss Straco and Miss Sherry. And we are working, we are teaching Spanish with the standards of the American Council for Foreign Languages in mind. That means that everything is according to those standards, and everybody across the county and across the country should be, working towards the proficiency, which eventually should target to the seal of biliteracy that the kids can earn. Especially in high school, they can apply for exams and they can get the seal of biliteracy, and they can earn college credits through that seal of biliteracy. I think we can go to the next slide. Oh, I'm sorry, Miss Intron.
Miss Centron, did you want to say anything about the other slide, or can I move forward?
Yeah, 4 more. Go for it.
Okay.
It's okay. So in these slides, we have 4 quarters, and we have 4 different units. We are start with my soccer, my planet, my school, and my style. This is our 4 topics or unit for our year. And I want to introduce myself. My name, like I said, Miss Intron. I am from Puerto Rico. Yes, and yes, I'm very, very native language. Spanish. The Spanish is my native language, and we are here to help our kids to learn Spanish. Okay, my office hours. Miss Lorenzo's too. She wants to continue later, but my office hour is Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday is on my front page. And my also we have in Wednesday office hour coach class. I need everyone, please do not scare talk Spanish. Please, it's easy, and your kids, when we continue to do it, they start to speak Spanish, right? So, Miss Lorenzo, you want us to say something in this slide?
Yes, I would like to say a little bit about my office hours. It's easier to remember that it's the first and the second break during the day. So after the very first class and the second class during the day, and you can see that Miss Intron, it coincides, it's the same. Also on Wednesdays, I know both of us send a lot of messages to our students and invite them either in small group instruction, but also one-on-one. And that's very important, very, very important, because as Ms. Intron said, the kids need to speak. They shouldn't be scared or hesitant, but if they don't want to do it in front of the class and they prefer that one-on-one, we are here to support for anything they need. And also not only boost the confidence, but also solve any questions, any misunderstandings, because it's a foreign language and they cannot really do it without us and our help. The levels that we will try to reach this year is novice mid by the end of the year. So that means to say and write and understand phrases and even sentences about ourselves. Okay, ideally could go up to novice high, but our main target is, our basis is novice mid. Miss Intron, would you like to say
Yes,
something?
continue with the slides. It's another parents asked something in the chat, so it's very interesting this dynamic. Okay, so you want to continue to the another slide, please? Another slide. All right. Thank you. So our virtual class expectation is, yes, our kids need to arrive or show up in Google Meet. We use different forms to do the Spanish. We use chat. We use videos. You get to feel comfortable. Especially in my class, I use a lot of Figbrick. It's a tool. And then they can record yourself some script in Spanish, all right? We use Spanish and please, can you come back one moment? The microphone in my class or our Spanish class is very important because we need to hear sometimes your kids, okay? It's important. These two need to, work properly, all right? If you have any question, please, please, please go to the tech. Put your ticket as soon as possible, okay? Assignments, that's typical completing Google Meet, and outcomes, try, learn about it, try and show what you know is part of our class. So they need to complete it in the same day or try to complete it in the same day. In academic expectations, proficiency is our target. Proficiency does mean they need to speak, all right? I need to speak, and then what you can with what you know. So I currently assess proficiency. We need to see what can be done by the students independently. All right. So please, I try to give you all the information on our students. Focus on the notes. In my class, especially, they need a notebook and pencil or pen. But they need notebook and take notes, all right? I don't know, Ms. Lorenzo, you want to say something more in this last slide?
Yes, I would like to say that, yes, a notebook is recommended for my class, but because we also give those focus notes and we will be taking a lot of those, so we might do some printing. A binder would be a good idea so that everything is together. And as Ms. Cintron said, we do want the kids to study and complete work independently, and we provide all the support for that. So that's why we emphasize the issue of plagiarism. So they do have the tools that they can look up words and stuff, but especially when we are in the class and we try to complete everything in the class, which is very important, to complete everything in those 70 minutes. Don't have to do it in your free time. Do something fun. Please try to reduce the use of Google Translate and Word reference, because then after a certain point, it's considered an issue of plagiarism.
And it looks like the grading is the same. So could I move forward from that?
Yes, it's the same. So all our kids can use the minor. So it's the same redo policy. I just want to say in this part, please do not let this situation in the end of the quarter try to encourage your kids find out all your show what you know as soon as possible. All right?
Yes.
And it looks like the Wednesdays are the same as well. So you just want to check the Schoology messages.
Yes, and we send a lot of messages, group messages and private messages. So please try to make it in those sessions. They are very, very important if you see a message from us.
Okay. All right. Before I go, please, if you have any questions, be free to call me, send me an email, and we're in touch all the time, okay?
Thank you, Ms. Intron, Ms. Lorenzos. So now we have ELA, and I believe that you guys are finishing off our evening. So ELA?
Hi, so I'm Miss George, and I think I've been elected to discuss the majority of ELA today. But we have 2 different ELA classes. So there's standard classes, and for those classes, our units are changes over time, which is the unit that we're in right now. Our second unit, which, and again, they align with the quarters, like all of other people have been mentioning so far, but unit 2 will start in quarter 2, and that's overcoming adversity. Unit 3, what tales tell, and unit 4 is personal achievements. And then for our GT or advanced academics class, they have different units and we read different texts. And those units are archetypes, use or change. Unit 2 is mirrors, windows, and doors. Unit 3 is page to stage, past to present. And unit 4 is choose your own destiny. And then in those units, we're reading short stories, but we're also going to be reading novels. So as Mr. Ritas was saying, if you haven't picked up your bags, your materials from Sparrows Point Middle, you should definitely try to get in there and do that because our students' novels will be in those bags. So for standard, we're reading A Long Walk to Water this quarter, and for GT, we're reading The Lightning Thief. So if you did not stop by and get your materials, you definitely should do that so that your student has those books. Okay, go to the next slide, Ms. McQuaid. Okay, so I think Ms. Roper is here, but for our 6th graders, we have Reading Foundations and LLI, and those teachers that teach those classes are Ms. Bonning, Ms. Johnson, and Ms. Roper. So Ms. Roper, do you want to talk?
Yes, so I teach the reading intervention Orton Gillingham as well as Miss Smith, but I have the 7th grade group. Miss Smith does the 6th and 8th. And Orton Gillingham, again, is a reading intervention, very small group based, focuses on multi-sensory approach to phonological awareness.
All right, and is Miss Johnson here as well?
I don't think so.
Okay. So Miss Johnson is also a 6th grade reading teacher. Her picture is here, and her email is ljohnson@bcps.org as well.
And I can speak for a really quick minute about LLI. So if your student is in reading intervention or LLI, it's essentially what we're going to be doing during distance learning because it's a little bit different than when we were in the classroom. We are trying to prepare those students to be really successful in their science and social studies classes. So the things that we're teaching them in reading are aligned with what they're learning in their other content areas, so like vocab and reading strategies and things like that so that they can succeed in those other classes.
And this is also Miss Smith again. So she also teaches reading intervention as well. So her job is split.
Yes, it is, but we have fun.
Yes, we do. And I saw earlier that Mr. Wickman was here. Is he still here? Mr. Wickman, are you here?
I am. I literally came up at the same exact time in 8th grade and 6th grade. I choose you, 6th grade.
Yeah!
I had both going at the same time. It sounded really crazy on my end here. Hey, good evening, everybody. I'm going to wrap this thing up for you, so I'll be nice and quick for you. I'm Mr. Wickman. I'm the AVID coordinator, but I'm kind of a jack of all trades here at Sparrows Point. AVID coordinator is probably the biggest part of my job, but then I moonlight as a special education teacher sometimes and a reading teacher as well. Most of my reading teacher duties are with 8th grade, but I have gotten to know some of the 6th grade students in those LLI classes as well. With special education, I am working with Miss George, Miss Whittemore on the screen, in one section of classes where I'll pull a small group out of her class and we'll work a little more closely together and provide a little extra support for students who need that. Of course, that's not just for special education students. That's for any student who may just like require to get out of the big group, come into a smaller group, and be able to talk through some of the work rather than just, give an assignment and then go do it independently. So I'm here for everybody who is in that class that wants a little extra support. I'm going to do a quick plug for AVID too. We don't have AVID in 6th grade, but yet we have it in 7th and 8th grade. We're up to about 50 students across the school right now who are part of our AVID program. AVID is like a college and career readiness program for students who in middle school know that they want to get to college, but maybe they need a little extra support. They'd be people like me who were like the first in their family to go to college and aren't really sure how to like navigate that because it can be really interesting and weird, especially right now. So we're here to add that extra support. And so AVID's with your students all the way through middle school and high school to make sure that they can, we apply for financial aid together. We practice for the SAT together, stuff like that. In middle school, it's more about like helping students prepare for like tougher classes in high school. So we work on a lot of like study skills, a lot of just organization, how to work at your own calendar, how to like take your own like good notes, even when your teacher doesn't make you, stuff like that. But we also do tutorials in class where we basically do peer tutoring. So if your student is struggling in a class, we get together with other students who are struggling in the same class and match them up with students who do well in that class. And then would actually use our class time to make sure that students are getting the support they need. I always say that in middle school AVID, our goal is to make sure that the purpose of my class is to make sure that your students are doing well in all their other classes. So that's like kind of the job I take very seriously with AVID. But be on the lookout for applying for AVID this spring for 7th grade. Thank you, Ms. McQuaid.
Absolutely. And here's some more pictures. We also have Miss Bigel that hasn't spoken yet.
I think she's here.
Oh, sorry, it's Miss Michael.
Hello, everyone.
Sorry, it's Miss Michael.
Fine. I still answer to Miss Bigel. I have kids that still call me that. No worries.
Okay.
I'll be real quick. I'm Mrs. Michael. I teach 6th and 7th grade language arts. And I'm super excited about this year. My email and office hours are on the screen there. Please message me on Schoology, email me if you have questions, need help. I stay after class. Office hours. I do impromptu Google Meets if kids need help with things. I'm pretty good with technology if you need help. So I'm here and I'm excited about this year. Thanks, Mrs. McQuaid.
Absolutely. And we also have Miss George who already spoke and Miss Roper who also.
Real quick, sorry, I forgot.
You're fine.
So yes, I also teach language arts 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, as well as reading. I'm a special educator, and I also have a Towson University intern with me this for the next few weeks. His name is Mr. Bruno, Kevin Bruno. You want to say hi real quick?
Hey, Mr. Bruno.
Hello.
Welcome aboard to Sparrows Point.
Thank you.
Thank you, Miss McQuaid.
So I'm just going to super speedy run through this. It's pretty much the same as every other class. Minor 70%, major 30%. We want your kids to be successful. So if they're missing something or they didn't score very high on something, we are always willing to let them do it again or talk through how they need to do it so that they can go back and complete work. Because we just want them to be doing as best they can in our classes. Same.
Same. So again, when I say 6th grade, you guys are going to say rocks. So 6th grade,
rocks.
Rocks. If you have any questions that we did not talk about, please feel free to hop over in my office hours. I'm going to stop recording this meeting. I think. How do I stop recording actually? Oh, geez. Oh, wait, hold on. I got
Over
it.
to the three dots on the bottom, McQuaid.
Oh, yeah, I got it.